Hey guys, it's your girl Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a few dips here from Soul Dip's 25 Days of Christmas collection. So we're going to be turning these two little fun dips into a cute little moment with this reindeer nail art. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around, we're getting into it. Okay, so the two new dips I have here from the collection are Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is a stunning shimmery red. And then I also have this really fun glitter called the Nutcracker, which has a ton of beautiful Christmassy tones in it. Wait till you see it. And then I also have this great nude from her existing line called Confident, and that's what we're going to use for the base for the reindeer nail art. So we're going to put Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on the thumb and the pinky, and then we're going to put the Nutcracker on the pointer finger and the ring finger, and then we will be putting Confident on the middle finger, and that's where we'll be doing our art. Okay, so just so you can see how these perform, I'm going to go ahead and leave the dipping process in here, but I will be speeding it up some. But I'm going to let you watch for a little bit, and then I'll be back in just a bit. Okay, so 2 coats of everything was enough to give me full coverage. I did do a clear dip, which I did cut out here, but the only reason I did that was just to make sure I had enough room for filing and buffing. I didn't want to have to worry about buffing off any of my color because I do use very thin dip liquids, so 2 layers is pretty thin, so I just wanted to make sure that there was going to be enough room for that. Y'all, look at this glitter. Is this not absolutely stunning? It's got such a great balance too between the fine and medium glitters, so it makes it super easy to work with. And I think it's really unique because there's so many different tones in here. The fine glitters, there's like a green base, but then there's also gold, and then the medium there's gold and pink and red. It's just really unique. I love it. So while I'm popping on this glitter, I have a question for you guys. When you see dip names, do songs get stuck in your head? Because wow, what a mishmash of songs from this Manny. Because I have one called Confident, which the Demi Lovato song came into my head, and then I have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, so I'm singing that in my head. And then I have the Nutcracker, so the Sugar Plum Fairy song is in my head. I mean, it's been driving me crazy, and it'll get stuck in my head for days. I mean, days, and it just drives me nuts. So, I mean, no shade or anything. I just want to know if y'all are like that too, because it kind of drives me a little nuts because I'll see a song name on a dip, and it is heck on earth trying to get it to go away. I think the worst case of it I had was when I was using that Vivid Glam Co dip, the really pretty one called Hollow Back Girl. I swear to you, that song was stuck in my head for a week, and I was like, I'm never using this again. Okay, so after my 2 dips of glitter, I did go back and hand place a few pieces. I often do this with chunky and medium glitters, just so that there's balance between where the glitters are placed on the nail. So, you know, I'm just kind of showing you the tail end of this, but I did hand place a few of these. Okay, so here we are just before shaping and buffing. So look how everything looks so smooth. And I wanted to tell you something funny that happened. Actually, I'm going to show you. In the middle of this, I had to stop after activating and go pick up my dog from the groomers. And he made a move to jump out the door when I was getting him out of the car when we got home. And I jammed my finger into the door and a little bit of my thumbnail on this other finger snapped off. I was like, great. But then I kind of looked at it and I'm like, I kind of like this shape. It's kind of funny how it broke so perfectly, but I almost left it and did chop the rest, but I thought, oh, I don't know. What do you guys think? I need you to tell me down below. While you're telling me if music songs get stuck in your head with dips, tell me what you think about this sort of ballerina coffin-ish shape, because I love my almonds, but sometimes I want to change. So tell me what you think down below. All right, we're going to do our filing and shaping off camera, so be prepared. Cheesy transition incoming. All right, so everything cleaned up beautifully. So I'm just gonna wipe these down with alcohol, and then just to save a little time off screen, I'm gonna go ahead and do my gel base and gel top on everything but the middle finger, because again, the middle finger is when we're gonna do our reindeer nail art. So I'll be right back. I mean, really, how can you not love these colors, right? Look at the sparkle in that glitter. And wait till you see that red. I'm telling you, there's a lot of shimmer that's not showing up here on camera, but I will get you some better video of it later. So this is what I'm going to be using for the artwork. So I have iGel Beauty's the Siren and Secret Whispers. These are just regular gel polishes. And then I have their black line art gel. And then I've just got an assortment here of dotting tools and silicone tools that I'll be using to manipulate the gel. And then for the antlers, I have this brush from the Beatles set, which I'll have linked for you down below. You guys really need this set if you're going to do any kind of artwork. But I'm choosing this one in particular because it's not too long. So I want to use it for the antlers and I need a little bit more control. And then I grabbed my palette ring from Sparkle & Co., which I do love, but it didn't work out so well for this. You're going to see later I switched to something else, but it just didn't work well because I was painting with my non-dominant hand. So, and by the way, painting this design on my non-dominant hand, I must be a masochist. So just a note here, I did do a layer of gel base off camera just to save time, but you're going to want the gel base there if you're going to be using gel over top of your dip powder, just so that that art has something to grab onto. So I'm going to just start by taking the red and making the nose, and I'm just using my dotting tool here to kind of make it into an oval shape. And I just want to tell you that if you don't want to use gel for this artwork, you do not have to. You guys know I love gel for nail art because it's so user-friendly, especially for somebody who's not really artistically talented. And I love it because, like, if I make a mistake, I can easily wipe it off with a brush or with a wipe with some alcohol, and it doesn't affect the rest of the mani. So that's why I prefer it. But if you don't want to use gel, you definitely could use acrylic paints. You could even use markers. You could use a really pigmented nail polish. You know, there's just so many options. But honestly, like 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be using gel for my artwork because that is just my preference. So I'm going to back off for a little bit because I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to be doing here, and you can just watch me do the artwork. But after each section, if I don't mention it, I do flash cure. So when I do one section like the nose, I'll flash cure. Then I'll do the eyes and flash cure. And then once everything is done, I will go back at the end and fully cure everything so it's completely set. Okay, so we are switching to a brush for the antlers. So whenever I use a brush with gel polish or gel paint, I like to kind of roll it around in there just so I make sure I get the brush fully coated. And then I will kind of twist it as I pull off some of the color just to get a nice clean shape. So I'm going to show you this in real time at first, and then I will speed it up just because otherwise we'll be here all day, because this is my non-dominant hand I'm using, and that's not that easy to do, especially when you're doing something as detailed like these antlers. So yes, even though I am using very user-friendly gel paints and polish, it still is a challenge for me because I am using my non-dominant hand. So I'm going to give you some tips for doing artwork with your non-dominant hand while I speed this up a little bit. The best tip I can give you really out of all of them is to anchor everything. And by that I mean anchor the hand you're working on, and then anchor your elbow that you're drawing with, because that will help provide you stability that you're not going to have with your non-dominant hand. So anchoring is the first step. And then I would highly suggest that you invest in one of these finger rests like I have here. You can either leave it flat on the table if you're going to draw upside down, or you can hold it in your hand like I am here to help keep your fingers steady. But it really does help a lot with your non-dominant hand work for anything, just dipping or art. And then lastly, I don't know if you can see here and there, you'll probably see my pinky. I've kind of pushed it up against my dominant hand. I'm using that as kind of an anchor. So the more that you can anchor your elbow, your hand, your finger to provide balance, the easier it's going to be to draw on with your non-dominant hand. I slowed it down just a bit here so you could see how I use this silicone tool to help me. So if I have something that got a little too thick or is a little out of place, you kind of use it to push the gel polish into the place where you want it. You do need to wipe it off between, messing with it, just so that it doesn't end up staining the rest of the fingernail. But, use it to push the gel a little bit, wipe it off, and then go back into the next spot. It does help a lot. So I think it's worth mentioning that if you are using gel polish instead of gel paint, you're probably going to need to flash cure in small sections. And the reason I say this is because gel paint is a little thicker than gel polish. Gel polish has a tendency to want to level faster and smooth out faster. So if you want to keep your details sharp, you may have to flash cure even before you finish the first antler. You may have to do it in small sections. So I was able to finish one and then flash cure it, but however you want to do it, just keep an eye on it. If it starts spreading too much, then I would flash cure in small sections. That way you don't lose that detail. With gel paints, that's usually less of an issue because they are a bit thicker and more pigmented and there's not as much spread, but I didn't have a brown one, so we did what we had to do. And now that everything's done, we're going to go ahead and fully cure it. And I believe I did 2 minutes on this full cure, mostly because I had some polish piled up on the nail. So I just wanted to make sure everything got fully cured all the way through. So once all that's done, here's our cute little design all finished. And now we're just ready for some top coat. So I'll go top coat that nail off camera. Okay, so that's our mani all finished up. So we're just going to finish with some cuticle oil like we always do. So I've been testing out a new brand here. It's called Scales of a Mermaid. So the one I have here is called Pumpkin Spice It Up. So I'm just going to rehydrate those dry cuticles. So here's the finished look. So what do you guys think of our cute little Rudolph nail art? I really think it's a good one to try for the holidays if you're not feeling it particularly artsy, but you want to bring some Christmas whimsy to your mani. I think this would be a really easy technique to try, and you can see it wasn't very difficult, and that was using my non-dominant hand. So imagine how much faster it would go if you were using your dominant. So If you are planning on picking up any of these dips or any of the other ones from the collection, I do have an ambassador code for you, and it is Carrie10. So I'll have it for you on the screen and also listed down below. So I am an ambassador for them. I don't get anything for that code. That's just for you to use, but save some money if you're going to pick something up, right? And that's going to complete this video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, it would help me out so much if you would give me a thumbs up down below. And while you're there, if you are not already subscribed, I hope you will consider subscribing before you go, and don't forget that notification bell. So that's going to finish us up, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.